Thank you so much, Sister Carolyn, for those wonderful insights. But particularly, I want to thank you for that great meditation. Thought-provoking, getting me going. Just to know, just to know that you can clear the mind of all of the toxicity. And you are able to get to a place where you can see the illusions clearly. Can you not? Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to thank you for those wonderful insight, particularly meditation. Because believe it or not, and I know you know, I am shining light today on the illusions. so make no doubt about it, I'm shining light on the illusions. Thank you so much. Okay, folks, I'm Brother Malcolm, and this is part 2. You're listening to the Powers of the Mind Hour. Powerful broadcast today on shining light on the illusions. What is an illusion? Everything is an illusion if you didn't discover it for yourself and you're not relying upon someone else to teach you about it. And what is Enlightenism? Enlightenism is the self-acquired intuitive knowledge so that you know that you are greater than the person that you're aware of being. You're always greater than the person that you're aware of being. You have a powerful mind, and you're born with a powerful mind, an unstoppable mind, an unstoppable power. We all have it, but we've forgotten about it. As Howard Thurman said, I forgot how easy it is to forget. So you don't want to forget this one thing, that you are divinely created with a powerful mind. See, on this broadcast, we don't use Enlightenism to define the greater power of God outside of us. We use Enlightenism to define the greater power of God in us. Why am I mentioning God? Because God is the ultimate power that we seek to connect to. We want to connect with this power. Make no mistake about it. Millions of people would love for this power that they've heard about, maybe don't understand it, to do something miraculous today and change their lives. They want to have faith in it, in the power. And I'm talking about faith in where the power is, in you. The greater power of Enlightenism is within you. And when you think of this power being within you and you're shining light on it, then you know one thing that you can say. I am always free in the consciousness of my mind. I am born whole, perfect, and complete, colorless, faceless, and formless. No one can take my freedom from me unless I allow them to do it. I must submit myself to a belief system. I must trust my teachers to teach me the truth about myself. And we're dealing with a new way to think and live. Though we're not trusting the teachers. I know it seems strange, but we're not touching the teachers to teach us about the greater power within, because then it wouldn't be self-acquired intuitive knowledge. Self-acquired intuitive knowledge is just what it means. You, the self, is acquiring knowledge from the intuitive consciousness. So you're learning yourself. Unlearn, relearn. Accept that you are the greater power. That's what this broadcast is about. That's what we talk about all the time. We want you to recognize how much power you have in you, not all this stuff outside of you. So that you take a break, a respite in yourself to say, I am greater than the I that I created. I am greater than the I that I recognize. This broadcast that I'm doing on Blog Talk Radio is a very important one. It's one that you can subscribe to. All you have to do is just hit follow. It's free. Free in the sense that it's not like some of the podcasts where you have to pay $50 a month just to listen to someone talk. This is free because you can benefit from something that you may believe is free. But there is a price here. And the price is to work in your mind, to let go of toxicity, generational toxicity. That's a price that you must pay in order to deal with self-acquired intuitive knowledge, to free yourself, to create the freedom that is absent in your life. All of the things that you find that you dream about, you wish about. It's all available to you today. When you shine light on the illusions, then you understand that you have to let go of the mythology that you've been using to victimize yourself. Why do you think people are talking about for generation and generation about pain and suffering, struggle, inequality, all of the things, poverty? Why do you think all of the great minds in the world have not solved the problem of poverty? Why do you think that hasn't happened? That they don't know how? Yeah, they know how, but they don't want to. They want to keep it the way that it is, so that the poor, the ones that are feeling impoverished, will look to the wealthy to give them something. And the wealthy feels good by saying, I have something to give you, but it won't make you as powerful as I am. So you'll still have that poverty mindset. Why do you think that? As I asked you the question, it's a rhetorical question, because the answer is, in order for things to change, toxicity must stop ruling our lives. We must let go of generational toxicity. We must let go of what people have taught us about who we are, because it didn't work. See, when something doesn't work in your life, you know what happens? You feel it. You feel that something is just not right. I'm not supposed to be poor. I'm not supposed to feel this way. Why am I abandoned by the greater power? Well, you're not. Greater power is with you always, every step of the way on this journey. But it cannot become activated and active in your life until you discover that it is in your life, that's available in your life. So I'm not an atheist, I'm not an agnostic, I'm not any of those people. I do firmly believe and know about the greater power of God. And I know this power is in all of us, and that the pain and suffering that is happening to millions of people in the inner cities of the United States of America and the rural areas of the United States of America, where people living in trailer parks, people do not have food, they're on some type of government subsidy, they're in a great deal of pain, don't know where the next meal is going to come from, how they're going to pay their rent or the mortgage. All of this is pain. And what I am saying, we have the power to get in contact with the pain and do something about it. If we're willing to let go of what we have been taught by others. People were well-intentioned. The people that were guiding us in life, they were well-intentioned. They wanted us to know certain things. And they were raising us up to be in the way that they wanted us to be. Okay, I got all of that. Now, what can I do about it, since I don't like it? What can I do about my training when I don't like it? This is what we're talking about now. When you reach a point where you don't like the way you're living, you don't like the conditions in your life, and you want to do something about it, other than rely upon the unproven beliefs and values that you received from previous generations. All they taught us to do is how to fit in. just how to keep things going. Don't rock the boat. Don't question anything. We know what is best. We, being the administrators, know what is best. So there are millions of people who believe that God cannot exist in their lives. They don't believe it. If they did, they would have a different approach to connecting to the power. The power wouldn't be so far away. So far away from you that you feel that you may not be communicating effectively. So even when you pray, you have your doubts. You try to will your way to say, I want this to happen. And then when things happen in a way that is different from the way that you intended for them to happen when you pray, you say that the God ignored your prayer and gave you what you needed. Now you think about that. Didn't give you what you asked for, but what you needed. Something that you were unaware that you needed. So you thought you asked for a job and you got a job. But you didn't get the job that you liked. It wasn't the one that you wanted. You wanted to have wealth and you didn't get wealth. You stayed poor for your entire life, never knowing the feel of being wealthy or having an education, a human education. Human education tells you about a lot of different things about people. Then you can get into all of this other stuff that people are talking about now, about artificial information, intelligence, and then you can get into the things about automobiles changing from gasoline to electricity. And you can say, oh, you can marvel at all of these things. But one thing remains consistent. You have to pay for them. And in order to pay for them, you have to earn money. In order to earn money, most of you, the ones that are buying the automobile, will have to work for someone on a job that you may not like. And then try to find some type of solace on Sunday morning to deal with all of the pain that you had to go through from Monday through Friday. And then repeat the process, much like Albert Camus talked about, pushing the boulder, the rock up the hill for an eternity. Pushing it up the hill, once it gets to the hill, it falls back down, and you repeat the process for the rest of your life. I'm not addressing what career you have today. That's not what this philosophy is about. It's not about a job. It's really not so much about poverty and racism and all of the other things. It's about cleansing the mind, your mind, so that you get clear about your purpose here and what power you have. Then your choices become clearer to you. You're not making choices just because you're suffering and you want the pain to go away. So you go to a doctor or something and you're in pain, you're willing to take any medication regardless of the doctor tell you what kind of side effects that the medication had. You want the pain to go away right now. Pain that is in your body that you contributed to indirectly, whether you know about it or not, just in all of the food that we eat. You know, see, all the foods that we eat contributed to our well-being. And everything you put into your mind will do the same thing. It is contributing to your well-being. And I want to say this to all of you in great earnest. I know the way out of pain and suffering is through the mind, not the toxic mind. Not you screaming and pleading with someone to give you something. You don't need anything except clarity, the ability to see through the illusions. The primary illusions that you have to see through are lack, limitation, and struggle. Those three form the cornerstone of everything in an illusion. One with lack It comes from a comparison. It causes you to lack something. I lack a new pair of tennis shoes. I lack having something else. I lack this, but it's absent from my mind. I lack money so that I could be able to deal with all the things that I see other people dealing with. So therefore, since I lack these things, they cause me to compare myself to another person. And when I compare myself to another person, I come up short. The lack becomes more prominent in my life. Second is limitation. Limitation is the limitations you have placed on your power to get what you lack in life. In other words, the things that you desire that you do not have. Whether it's freedom, whether it's employment, whether it's education, it comes from a comparison that's coming in your mind to tell you you lack it. Because in consciousness, you don't lack it. You don't lack the things that you believe that you lack. There's no comparison. In the consciousness of truth, you're whole, perfect, and complete. Whenever you can get into your mind in a meditation or something, you feel that nothing is lacking in your life. And when you lack something, you don't have the power to get it because you place limitations on your power with your mind. You've said you can't do anything about it. You cannot eradicate. I've heard people talk for years, read books and everything about it. People want this greater power that they call God to fix the people that you don't like and help the people that you do. If you don't like somebody, people will say, I'm praying to God to let it go. I'm putting it in God's hand. You don't have the power to transfer toxicity to Enlightenism. It doesn't work. These are your problems, and they stay your problems until you can solve them. And the third thing is struggle. You believe you must struggle to be someone else. Because foundation is lack. The limitation, you don't have the power. Now you have to struggle to satisfy and fulfill the lack. I use an example in one of my books about an apple tree and an orange tree. And if you're born an orange tree and apples are more popular and no one is eating oranges, everyone is going around buying getting the apples. You look over as the orange tree and say, oh, I wish I was an apple tree. No one is over here desiring my fruit. And so now I'm going to graft myself and grow some apples. So I'll have an orange tree with apples on it. And you can imagine how that will look. You cannot be someone that you were not created to be. And when you desire to create an image of someone that you were not created to be, that's where your struggle comes in. You struggle, people struggle for things because you want someone to give you what you're lacking. And the consciousness of truth is saying to you, you do not have to have freedom, achieve freedom of mind in that way. You were born with a powerful mind. Your freedom is in your consciousness, and no one can take your freedom from you. No one can enslave a free mind. No one has the power to do this. You must be a willing participant to give up your freedom, give up the powerful mindset, so that you search for everything outside of you. Everything. Whether we want to admit it or not, God is perceived by the poor, the wealthy, and everyone else to be somewhere else other than in the people that are praying. Somewhere. Is God in the ghettos? Yes. Absolutely, the inner cities for generational poverty and inhumane treatment. All of these things are happening because people want them to happen. Whether you believe it or not, if we wanted to solve the problems of homelessness and all of the other things, then we would focus all of the money. We would reprioritize the money that we're sending every other places and place it right on the people in the United States of America. We don't want to do it because it's not a priority. Well, I'll tell you what is a priority. For me, the pain in my life is a priority. And the things that I have used have not overcome the pain until now. Until I learned and taught myself about self-acquired intuitive knowledge. Then I understood what it means to let go of pain and to free the mind of toxicity. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you, Sister Carolyn, for that wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guided meditation. We changed things a little around today, folks. Well, when you listen to the broadcast on Blog Talk Radio, or you'll be able to go to YouTube and watch the video of the show. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and understand one thing. I am greater than the I that I created. I am always greater than the I that I created. All of you have a great day. I'm Brother Malcolm. Thank you.